called that the Elliott smash hit. That fake goody two-shoes wasn't gonna get away with what she did to me. She wasn't worth the time I spent thinking about her. But, you are.
Norman, don't you have some papers you need to deliver over to Commissioner Slaymaker?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you just come back later tonight?
All right, and at 10, we'll start the vocal track. We'll go with I Feel Love first. How's all this sound to you, Angel?
You kidding? Sounds great. I can't believe it's finally happening.
Your throat giving you any more trouble?
Want me to sing a scale for you? David, this is the most wonderful morning of my whole life.
Well, that's the way I like to hear you talk. You just needed to get away from Kingsley air for a while. And one other pollutant.
Come on, New York air isn't exactly clean air.
I can spot him a mile away. Becky, you were meant for this city. It was obvious after last night.
You know your friend Marv Henson? Half the people he introduced me to have records on the top of the charts. Okay, maybe 4 of the people he introduced me to.
Marv knows his way around. That's because I taught him. I'm in the business of making winners, Becky. But they have to be willing to go all the way.
David, do you really think that this record has a chance of being a winner?
I meant you're the winner. I mean, you've got what it takes, a natural talent alone. I mean, it's a plus any singer would fight for.
You know, when I was a little girl, I used to pretend that I was singing in front of like a million people, you know? And they would all be yelling, more, more, more. And I'd kind of walk up to the microphone and say, all right, one more. But it would never be enough.
That sounds like something you'll be doing in the next month instead of some childhood fantasy. I've already started working on your tour.
Tour? Even before the album?
Like if I waited for events to happen before I reacted to them, I wouldn't call myself a manager. Gotta stay one step ahead all the time.
How'd you get into this business anyway?
It's a long story. Not worth going into. Except that I like what I do, and that works to your benefit. I've managed more people than I can remember. And believe me, a lot of them out there would give their soul to sit where you are right now.
David, I'm glad that you're the manager.
And you can't live without me, right?
I'm serious, David. Making this album is really important to me. You know, it's a dream I've always had.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of work ahead of us yet. Okay. I mean, the recording session is just the beginning. And our first day of studio time has already been blown, you know.
I know, my fault, sorry.
Becky, I want to strip you down to a sound of your own. Not Summer Winds. I mean, they were strictly high school as far as I'm concerned. And a new look. I want to see Becky Hewitt's face on the cover of that album.
You mean it? I mean, it's all set? It's gonna be me, just me on the cover of the album?
You're the star, aren't you? Come on, we gotta be in the studio in an hour. Let's run through this again.
Okay.
I'm sorry to come barging in here without calling.
Nonsense. You don't have to make appointments with me.
I went for a drive this morning. I needed some time to think.
Well, after Norm Elliott's rampage last night, I can certainly understand that. Are you sure you're all right?
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, I'm all right about last night, but no, I'm not all right about this divorce. Now, have you filed yet?
Well, I've certainly considered it.
Well, I know you've considered it, but have you done anything? That's the point. I mean, I can't go on hoping forever.
Nancy, wait a minute. Harold Webster's on to a detective for me. We're making an effort to find Helen first before we file for desertion.
And you really trust this matter with Harold Webster?
What do you mean? Of course I do.
Well, I don't know, but he certainly did an excellent job of butchering my legal affairs. Do you know I lost a house and an inheritance because of that guy?
Well, at least something good came of it. You moved in with Miriam. If you hadn't, Norm Elliott would have had the run of the place.
Can't something be done about that little disease of a person? You know, he attacked me. If you didn't come in, I don't know what would have happened.
I know. He has a history of attacking people. He simply cannot handle his anger. Well, as a matter of fact, your niece was a victim of one of his rages.
My niece? You mean Lori?
Yes, well, the auto accident that she and Russ Weaver had about 6 months ago, that was no accident. Norm Elliott ran them off the road.
She was almost paralyzed.
I know, and if he'd had his way, she would have suffered much worse than a paralysis.
So why do you let him loose with Miriam?
Nancy, I don't like him visiting Miriam at all, but I cannot have him arrested.
Well, why not? I mean, after that accident, I would think that's proof enough.
Nancy, Norman has been involved in several other questionable ventures, and unfortunately, he was once an employee of Capital Distributors, a company I own.
Well, just because he worked for you is no reason to be loyal to the guy.
Yes, but in addition to all of his other admirable qualities, he's a very vindictive young man. He wouldn't hesitate for a minute to implicate me in any number of his past schemes. And with Hollister Mall moving along as it is, I simply cannot afford that kind of a problem.
Yeah, but still, Charles, we have to do something to protect ourselves against that wimp.
And here's where you'll be, Angel. Right here for as long as you need.
This is great. Oh, you know that equipment you showed me out there, David? I couldn't tell you the on from the off button.
Just leave the technical stuff to me and the engineer, okay? We've got the best equipment money can buy. I hand-picked your backup. Come on, I'll show you the lounge. We can get a coffee.
Dave,
Hello? Didn't think you were still around.
you haven't returned my phone calls, David.
I'm a busy man, Angel.
Well, I can see that. Has he promised you an album, too?
We really don't have time for your questions, Hannah.
What about the paycheck you promised me?
Look, I don't know what you're doing in here, but you're using up valuable studio time that I already paid for.
Probably out of my check.
Do I have to get security to throw you out?
Yeah, you're good at throwing things out. The name's Ann Hamilton, honey. And the next time the Dave Cohen throws someone out, you can count on it being you.
All right, Hanson, you've got 3 minutes. I'll be outside.
Hi, Jill. How's it going?
The usual, you know, you've seen one jail cell, you've seen them all.
Yeah. Well, have a seat. Came over here on my lunch break. Thought I'd just come see you. Oh, well, this note's from Mom. It's for you. I'll read it. Jill, I just want you to know that I'm remembering you in my prayers. God always forgives us of our mistakes each time we ask Him. Love, your friend Terry.
Has Gary talked to you?
Yeah, he said that you told Sergeant Brubaker the truth, that he didn't have anything to do with the shoplifting.
Is that all he said?
No. Jill, he said that maybe you stole that makeup from the store so you could impress me. Is that the truth? Is that true?
Gary has a vivid imagination. I'm surprised you fell for it.
Look, I understand, Jill. You don't have to impress me. You don't have to impress anybody. Just be yourself.
What is this? You actually think I'm stuck on you.
No, I mean, we've been spending a lot of time together lately.
Why didn't you go chase that cheerleader of yours? She's more your type.
Jill, all I'm trying to tell you is that I still want to be your friend. Look, I got my car back, no harm done. I'm not blaming you.
I don't need you, Peter Davidson. I've got plenty of tougher guys begging me to go out with them. So why don't you just go back to work and take this card with you?
Nancy, where are they?
Where's who, Miriam?
My medicine. I don't have any more.
Oh, your pills. Yes, I know.
But I need them.
Yes, I know you do. You don't have any.
What do you mean? You let them run out? I've got to have them.
Well, don't blame me. It's Norm Elliott's fault.
Norman's?
Yes, Norm took them.
All of them?
Well, you don't see any, do you? I warned you about him.
Why would he do that now? Now, what am I going to do?
Well, leave it to me as usual. I probably got some samples in my handbag or something.
Oh, where's your handbag?
You don't need them right now, do you?
I'm not sure. I mean, I might. Just, I need to know that they're there, Nancy. Just tell me, okay, that you have them?
Well, I just told you they're there, Miriam. Now, if you would like, I can go out tomorrow and get another prescription, okay?
Yes, would you, please?
Are you all right? Why don't you go up and take a nap or something before dinner?
I told you before, I just can't sleep.
Oh, that's right. You can't sleep because you don't have your medication, right?
So could you, Nancy, could you get the prescription for me this afternoon?
Well, I don't know, really, because I think the doctor won't be there. I'm sure he's gone, and I don't have his home number
Why don't
anyway.
you call him? Call him and find out. Just see, what I mean is, Nancy, I mean, how do you expect me to get any sleep at all tonight?
Miriam, would you like to know why your pills aren't here? You know, Norm broke in last night and took them, and he attacked me.
Norman, why would he do that?
Oh, Miriam, don't you even ask what's wrong with me? I mean, don't you even care?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nancy. I care very much because you're my friend.
Well, Norm isn't. Do you know he wants me to move out of here so that he can move in?
No, you just can't leave me not alone here, please.
Well, then we're going to have to do something about him. The next time he comes on one of his little unexpected cleanup campaigns, I may not be able to get any more prescriptions.
Then what can we do about him?
Well, I've got the perfect plan to take care of Norm Elliott.
So you did get to see her?
Yeah, I did. Well, she sure didn't seem too happy to see me.
Oh, well, she treated Jeff and me like strangers when she saw us. The thought of her being confined all this time, well, I've been cleaning all morning just to take my mind off it.
Well, I talked to her. Gave her this card that Mom sent.
Oh.
I had to read it to her. She took it, threw it back at me.
Well, that's Jill's defenses. I know she likes your mother. In fact, I think she prefers Terry over me. Oh, I'm sorry, Peter. I don't mean to whine at you.
No, that's okay. Look, I think that we should say what we're feeling. All of us. I just wish that Jill would.
I don't think she knows how. I think that she spent most of her life keeping people out of touching distance. I mean, that's what people do when they've been hurt.
I don't know why she would now. I mean, look at this place. You and Mr. Cummins give her a nice place to stay. Nobody else offered.
Well, maybe what we gave her wasn't enough. At least speaking for me, I don't think I ever really gave her the love that she was crying out for. Kindness, maybe, and sometimes not even that.
You mean she wasn't happy here?
Well, restless. She was always looking for something to do. I prayed about her living here, but it was always, Lord, make Jill see, and not Lord, make me see.
No, you sound like my mother. She used to always say, well, when Lori and I were growing up, she'd say, look for both sides of the situation. Then you won't be so quick to judge. She still tells me that.
Well, listening to my parents was the last thing I wanted to do. I hated their way of thinking and all of their rules. And now, Jill. Even though what she did wasn't right, it's taken that to make me see that I was a Jill. I mean, I felt I had to fight the world alone.
Mm-hmm. You know, she wouldn't be too bad if she wasn't pretending all the time, you know?
Jenny really likes her. She's like an older sister.
Well, if you ask me, she's mighty lucky to have you on her side.
Thank you, Peter. But I really haven't done a good job at showing her. Even your mother reached out to her before I did.
Yeah, but look at it this way. At least somebody can reach her. I sure couldn't.
Well, You probably did more than you think.
Thanks.
Hey, what happened to the Becky I had breakfast with?
Ann Hamilton, did you really promise her an album?
I knew this was coming.
Did you?
I knew this was coming. Ann's a nobody. Look, I'm not a magician. Something's got to be there first for me to work with it, you know?
I've never seen so much hate in someone's eyes in my life, David.
I'm sure she hates me. Do you want to know why? Because disco died, and that's the only sound she could make. When she started with me, I told her the same things I told you, yeah. This business has more casualties than survivors. You'll probably meet 10 more Ann Hamiltons before you get out of here today.
All of them looking so angry.
What do you want from me? An apology for being honest, Becky?
No, I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing.
But all of a sudden now you've changed your mind about this whole deal?
I didn't say that. Everything was great until Ann Hamilton had to show up.
You don't have to deal with her. Quite frankly, I'm a little surprised that you'd even give her a second thought. You should have a one-track mind right now, and that's cutting this album. Because if you don't, I mean, we're just going to run behind schedule.
Yeah. Guess maybe things are just moving a little too fast for me.
Angel, you can handle it. You've got your head on straight.
Yeah.
You know what you want. I haven't even had to babysit you. You know what I was thinking when I was listening to you in the control room?
What?
I was thinking that with the style you've got, you're going to be around a long time.
I didn't mean to put you down. I know you've gone out of your way for me.
Because you're a survivor. You're going places, Becky.
The first place I want to go is back to Kingsley.
Kingsley, what for?
I want to see Russ. I want to tell him about the studio and the session and everything.
A phone call will do, Angel. You're going to be here a while.
I only packed for 2 days, David.
No sweat. You could use a new wardrobe, especially for the album cover. And anything else you need, I can get it for you.
I just couldn't believe that was your voice on the phone asking me to come over.
Well, I didn't keep you away from anything, did I?
No. I'll have to deliver some notes to George Slaymaker later on, but I always have time for you, ma'am.
Well, after the way I behaved, Norman, it's really a wonder that you would even be decent to me.
You know, Mim, you look great. Just like the Mim I knew.
No, Norman, I don't. I look awful, and you know it, and I know it, too. And I just...
Oh, careful now. Oh, you're shaking.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just... it's probably all those pills I was taking.
Have you had any today?
Oh, no. Oh, just maybe 1 or 2. But you know, I was going to take some more this morning, and you know what I did, Norman? I read those labels just like you told me to do, and then I saw that you were right.
Where is Nancy?
Nancy is, she left for dinner with Daddy.
You know, you really ought to get her out of the house, Mim. I mean, you could have OD'd on that junk she was feeding you.
Hmm? Oh, yes, Norman, I know. How could I ever thank you, Norman?
You know, Mim, you're still the lady of my life, you know.
Oh, Norman, I don't think I ever told you this before, but every time we were together, it was really very special for me. And did you know that I was jealous of almost every woman you knew?
You jealous?
Yes, I know. Can you really believe that? And, oh, especially of Lori.
Lori?
Mm-hmm. See, I thought that you really cared for Lori, and then she led you on and dumped you for that Russ Weaver.
Well, I took care of her for what she did to me.
Yes, Lori had several terrible experiences which more than paid for her flirting, like the trial, for one, and then that horrible car crash she was in with Russ.
That was, no accident, ma'am.
Oh, really, Norman? Tell me, what do you mean?
Well, I called that one the Elliott smash hit. That fake goody two-shoes wasn't gonna get away with what she did to me. She wasn't worth the time I spent thinking about her. But, you are.
Norman, Didn't you say you had some papers to deliver over to Commissioner Slaymaker?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you know, you could come back later tonight.
Slaymaker, huh? Yeah, you're right. Will Nancy be here later on?
No, I will just get rid of her.
Okay, I'll call you, all right?
Oh, no. Why don't I call you? That would be better, you know, with Nancy here. No, I will just call you, okay?
Okay.
Oh, no, you better hurry or you'll be late or something.
Did we get it?
I think we got everything we need to get rid of that creep. Good work, Miriam. Great.